Do you fit in?
Pat Bateman, nice to meet you.
Hey, how you doing? Today I wanted to talk about one of my favorite movies, American Psycho. In American Psycho, there's a line that perfectly depicts the psychological state of our protagonist, Patrick Bateman, and the most frightening phenomenon in the world today.
I want to fit in.
But who is Patrick? Well, that is the question. As Patrick himself said,
There is an idea of a Patrick Bateman, some kind of abstraction, but there is no real me, only an entity, something illusory. I simply am not there.
Alright. There's a lot to unpack here. So let's start at the beginning. When we meet Patrick, he greets us in this way.
I live in the American Gardens building on West 81st Street, on the 11th floor. My name is Patrick Bateman.
Patrick then continues to describe in the smallest details his morning routine. He explains to us what cosmetics he's using daily to preserve his look and how extensively he's training his body so that he can do 1,000-up crunches now. And then he ends his inner monologue with a quote we previously mentioned. What's worth noticing is the fact that during this scene, Patrick puts on 2 masks. First, his ice mask, then he applies an herbal mint facial mask. Finally, he slowly removes his herbal mint facial mask, and during that process, he reveals himself to us. This scene is very metaphorical. It shows us Bateman as a man who believes that his social status, how much money he has, and his level of materialism determine what kind of person he is. According to Bateman, we as recipients are not interested in who he is, but what he has, how lavishly he lives, and what luxurious about he lives. There is no Patrick Bateman. There is only a social creature that has adapted and wants to fit into the social framework. Patrick has no personality of his own. He's a composite of what the world defines as a success. Patrick puts on masks to fit in the society that created him. This theory is supported by the cover of the book, where we see Bateman wearing a suit and a mask. Mask itself symbolizes that you're trying to be someone else, someone we are not. In China, there is a belief that people throughout their whole life wear and exchange based on their circumstances 3 faces or, in this case, 3 masks. First mask is for family, colleagues, our peers and friends. Second is for the world and the unknown. And the third one is reserved only for ourselves and no one else. It is the realest reflection of who we really are. With Patrick it might be the same. But what if his mask have developed to such extent that it became his real face? What then? Would the original personality simply disappear? Or would it have been repercussions on our psyche? We can see that Patrick is slowly going deeper and deeper into the madness. We don't know what happened to him prior to meeting him. It might be that he just simply lost his mind down the road of Wall Street life, or maybe the madness is his coping mechanism. As Joker said, madness is an emergency exit.
When you find yourself locked onto an unpleasant train of thought, headed for places in your past where the screaming is unavoidable, remember this: there's always madness.
Patrick lives in a Wall Street world where everyone looks the same, wear the same clothes, go to the same barber, eat at the same restaurants, and even work the same job. The level of similarity to each other is so high that throughout the story, everyone is mistaking each other as someone else. It's no wonder Patrick feels like he has to be like them to fit into this weird social group. It's no wonder Patrick is losing his mind. We presume, as a coping mechanism, Patrick starts to kill people. The selection is pretty random. It might be a co-worker from the film that unknowingly disrespected Patrick, or some random prostitute. But is Patrick really killing those people? Well, the answer varies on whoever reads the book or watches the movie. We're never sure if Patrick is really the killer, or if all been just a figment of Patrick's imagination, fighting to create scenarios where Patrick is in control of his own life, where he doesn't have to fit in. Patrick's mind imploded after probably years of changing himself, adjusting to each occasion, hiding his true self from everyone. Due to constant mental stress, his mind began to mix reality and fiction. Patrick began to dream while awake. His sick fantasies were starting to manifest themselves in his waking life. Patrick deeply believed that his fantasies and sick thoughts were starting to come true. This is brilliantly shown in the film when his assistant finds a notebook with Patrick's drawings. This notebook contains drawings of murders that we previously saw in the movie. At the exact same time, another scene takes place where Patrick goes to the apartment where he fulfilled one of his fantasies. It turns out that the bodies he allegedly left there were never there. Evidence that Patrick has lost his mind and is unable to distinguish fiction from reality is the scene of a conversation with his lawyer. During this conversation, Patrick admits to murdering one of his coworkers, which took place some time ago, to which the lawyer replies that it's impossible because he had dinner with him the day before. This scene makes Patrick realize that he has lost his mind.
But that's simply not possible. And I don't find this funny anymore.
It never was supposed to be. Why isn't it possible?
It's just not.
Why not, you stupid bastard?
Because I had dinner with Paul Allen twice in London. Just 10 days ago.
No, you didn't.
We can take it another way. We know that everyone is wrong about who they talked to or saw. It is possible that Patrick actually killed Paul Allen, but because of how unrealistic everyone is in this world, it will never come to light because no one will ever notice that the real Paul Allen is dead. So, where does that leave us? That is a good question. If we could learn one thing from American Psycho, what would it be? Of course, some would say to be careful of too perfect people. Others would warn us against Wall Street guys. From my point of view, the most important lesson coming from the character of Patrick Bateman is that we should always stick to ourselves, to who we truly are. If we let ourselves go, if we let this world, let our surroundings, let the media created way of life and ubiquitous consumerism consume us, then we would become Patrick Bateman. Well, maybe not psychotic individuals, but our core personality will change forever. We will lose ourselves, slowly, but nevertheless, into the monster today's world is creating. The character of Patrick Bateman is the personification of everything that is wrong with today's world. From greed, contempt, to promiscuous intercourse, combined with betrayal, ending with murders that automatically exclude a given individual from society. So let me ask you this. Knowing all of this, do you still want to fit in?